All right, Chris Christie's making speeches. Mitt Romney's being referred to as a nice guy but a nerd. And John Boehner learns you cannot always trust your bartender. Quick hitters from the Wednesday news card. Welcome back to MidPoint, syndicated radio talker, investigative pit bull, former Republican candidate for Congress from KLIF AM 570 in Dallas, Fort Worth. In the Metroplex, Grant Stinchfield joins us. Grant, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Ed. Thanks for having me back on.
My pleasure. Another day in paradise down in Dallas, Fort Worth. All right, let's start with go way back to this morning. John Boehner gets on the House floor and he says enough is enough. I mean, he is one angry human being. He reads aloud 22 examples of the president's past claims that he lacked the authority to put immigration reform into action. And he is okay, it's all fine and well, but has John Boehner finally got a spine?
Well, no, I think he's got some backing now that he's got a Senate behind him. I'm glad he's doing it. Look, better late than never, but we've been talking about that stuff on this radio program for the last 2 years and longer. And so, you know, it took him long enough. I'm glad he got there. I think he got frightened by the challenge to his speakership earlier on when they were voting for speaker. And so now he's going to say, hey, I'm going to prove to you all that I'm a conservative and I'm going to fight back at Obama. But I think the damage has already been done here. I wish he was fighting 5 years ago, 8 years ago.
He says this is a no-compromise position on blocking the president's immigration plan. Do you go with it that when this thing is all said and done, there will be no compromise?
You know what's going to be interesting about this is you have the two worst negotiators in the world. You have President Obama, who could not negotiate himself out of a paper box, and then you have John Boehner, who rolls over to the worst negotiator in the world. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. I think it's all a lot of blustery wind from both sides. I don't think you're going to see anything get done here. The House and Senate should put these bills on the president's desk over and over and over again. Make him veto them. He will. But let the American public see who they elected into the White House.
You know, it seems a little funny, and some people are making a joke of it, but apparently a bartender that he knew was arrested for perhaps even trying to poison the Speaker of the House. Look, at one side it sounds a little funny here, don't trust your bartender, but on the other side, you don't know what kind of whack jobs are out there right now, basically going after political leaders and elected officials now. That's a little scary.
You know, I actually read the arrest affidavit. The way I was left with it is I'm actually sad for the man. He seems like he's mentally ill. He was talking about speakers out of his radio speakers, calling John Boehner evil. Now, if he had the Stinchfield report on, I don't think I used the word evil coming out of his radio speakers, but squishy and spineless and lily-livered maybe. But I think it's sad. He ended up not shooting this man, not putting a poison in his drink. But clearly this guy has mental illness, and I think there's a lot of people out there suffering from the same thing that he is.
What's your take on Josh Earnest and the president basically saying that we as a country need to stop using phrases like Islamic extremism?
You know, I would like to just say Islamic terrorism and not even say Islamic extremist terrorism. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the terror being waged against the United States and, of course, France and other countries in the West that value freedom and free speech is being conducted by Muslims. No, it is not all Muslims, but the majority of the terrorists out there, if not all of them, are Muslims. And the president needs to get on board with this. This whole nonsense about just calling it extremism. You know, one of the State Department spokespersons yesterday could not answer any other examples of terrorism going on within recent history. Besides Muslim terrorism. So I don't know what they want.
30 seconds. What's your take on Romney 3.0 and Christie 1.0?
Well, I was a big fan of Romney when he ran, but I think it's time to pass the torch on. Chris Christie is an interesting character. I think he's a fighter, but I think he's a little too grumpy. I want the Republican Party to put a vision out there and be positive about where America is going, and I think Christie is grumpy. My dark horse guy, Ed, is Scott Walker. I think Scott Walker has a great shot. I think he has that vision, and he's proven himself to be a winner and a fighter.
Going to hold that on you right here because we got a long way to go, and we'll remember that as well. KLIF 570 in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. That's where Grant Stinchfield is, also syndicated across the country. Grant, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon.
You too. Thanks again, Ed.
All right, take care. The final word is up next in Telling It Like It Is. How about a lesson for Oprah Winfrey? Coming up right here on MidPoint.